Hello, this is Charmion. Thank you for coming and visiting with me as you come and listen to me speak about some of the things that have gone on in my life and how I have kind of navigated my way through this thing called life. And I just want to share that with you. So while you're here, hey, like, subscribe, and get back and listen. So, in my last video, I talked about my relationships with with being a single parent, how that has been for me, and really navigating single parenting. I'm going to move into being a daughter myself and my relationship with my mother. I know I reference a lot growing up in a single parent household, and my mom really wasn't there, and how I saw her as a single parent and how I did not want to be that. And although she was a single parent, she worked a lot. She had a lot of jobs. My mother at one time had 4 or 5 jobs. And I didn't want to work that much when I had my family. My values were different. I value time with my family. And although she saw that as a way of survival, that's how you provide, and having to work to provide. I believe it kind of turned her into a workaholic. And I don't really think that she realized how much that time apart had an impact on me with her not being there. And having spent so much time away from home, I was being responsible for myself after a while, after I began being home alone. And that I started as a latchkey kid back in the day. I grew up in the 80s. At 5 years old, I had a key to the house. And I would stay by myself after school some days. Some days, not always. And then things started to change. But that was the beginning. I think I started losing my key or something like that. But anyway, I don't know why it changed, but it did. So growing up, having had so much responsibility so young, shapes you in a different way than a child who is used to a parent that's being there, because they have someone help be responsible for them. So they're used to being more dependent than independent. Our relationship with my mother definitely had its hills and valleys. There was great love experience along with some really deep pain. There was some toxic situations there that came with great destruction, and it had forced me to rebuild and reshape me, and had me to rethink a lot of things, where I had to put some hard boundaries in place for my relationship with my mother, because it wasn't always healthy. As we know that our families are our families, but not every family is perfect, because not every person is perfect. So there's a level of dysfunction in every family. So we had ours. But I thought it was normal because it was just us. We didn't have family members that visited often. The one person that we would see more regular was my mother's mom, my grandmother. She would either come to visit or we would go there to go to visit her in her home state. So she was the one relative that I would see more frequently, would be my mom's side of the family more than anything. But my mom's side of the family had an extreme level of dysfunction. So I know where the root of her dysfunction came from because I saw the presence of that play out very regularly when we would visit her hometown. I saw it played out with her mother when they would engage in phone conversations. I saw it play out during some of the visits. I saw the dysfunction play out with visits with her brother and her sister, her brothers and her sister. So I knew that there was a great level of toxicity and extreme levels of dysfunction in the family on my mother's side. So I knew where it was. However, I did not necessarily identify it in our relationship until much later. Now, because I saw my mom hurt in her relationship with her siblings and her mom, you know, it made me love her more because I saw her hurt, and I didn't want to hurt my mom. But my mama hurt me a lot in her behaviors and how that she treated me, in her control, in her manipulation with her emotions, emotional control, being very manipulative at times, misuse of her own power over me. But my loyalty to her in the end was always given because that was my mother. But they kept happening. And oftentimes without a true, sincere apology, and then with great destruction on my end. The use of a credit card or use of, misuse of funds or however it would happen, but it would happen without a sincere apology or concern of my own welfare, of how I'm going to restore what I needed for myself. Not accepting responsibility for any actions, the carelessness. I'm a person. But more importantly, I'm your child. I'm your daughter. And it never seemed fair that you could hurt someone so deeply and so bad that's so close to you that you love or claim to love, say you love. And I know she does. But that pain and that destructive behavior. It wasn't until maybe a couple of years ago that she actually apologized. And this is the first time I felt the sincerity in her words. But I don't believe my mother really understands the depth of her behavior and how everything that she may have done in my life has played out. And sometimes I feel like she wouldn't be able to accept some of that responsibility. But I remember that conversation that we were having. And she said, even though I know it's very cliche, but she was like, hurt people hurt people. And she said, I'm sorry. I know that hurt people hurt people. But it was how she said it. And it was heartfelt. So I know it was the first time she said it. I mean, and she meant it. She meant it when she said it. But I don't know if she knows the magnitude of how her actions have hurt me throughout the course of my life, how it has set me back, how it may have caused me to have to restart my life. In a lot of ways in what her destruction, because she wasn't getting her way or she wasn't getting what she wanted, and she felt in her rage that it was okay to attack me because she was mad. Maybe she had a flashback or whatever, or what happened to her, then she didn't have control at that time. But I told her that day, I remember saying to her, I said, do you even realize how you hurt me? And that's when she said, I know, hurt people, and I'm sorry. And I accepted that apology, even though I know it wasn't enough, because like I said, I don't know if she knows the magnitude of the setbacks that have occurred from the hurt, the destruction. And it's not hurt, it's like deep pain and destruction. Like destruction, like total destruction. Love, hate. Like at times I felt like she hates me. Like, why does she hate me? Like, what did I do? You hate me right now. You hate me. And I don't know if anyone out there has had that relationship with a parent or someone in a parental role where they feel like they at one moment they love them so much, like that love they love to have for you is like so abundant. They want to give any and everything. They love you so much, and that is like extreme. And the next minute they hate you, like hate, like want to destroy you, like kill. It's like, who is this? And this is what I had to grow up with, and the extremes of the behavior. It never seemed fair. So having to learn to set boundaries, I think what helps now is we live in totally different states. If my mother was here, it would be overbearing. But now that we live in different states, it's easier to navigate. I had to learn I don't have to take every phone call. I had to learn that, if she ain't blowing my phone up, if it's not an emergency need, I don't have to answer it right away. I had to learn. I had to learn certain things that I had to do to create boundaries, because at one point there were none. She didn't want them to be there anyway, and then when I would try to put hardcore boundaries there, she kept pushing them. They made her angry. So just know that today you can create those boundaries. Believe in yourself that you can, and create them so that you can have your space, so that you can be free from that. Take care of yourself and have a great day.